one of the things you're going to want to be able to add to your document is text. So we're going to take a look at the text tool and how you format your text and whether or not you use a text box or a shape as a text box. So here we go. I have a Pages document open. I already have a shape on my document. And this particular document is in page layout mode. So it's not ready to receive text other than text boxes. So when I add a text box to my document, it throws it on the page and I can type some text in here. And here's my text. And now when you click on a shape, either style or arrange is going to pop up. But if you click on text, arrange or text should pop up. It kind of knows that you've clicked on text and it only gives you options to do things with the text. If I'm clicked on the shape and I click text and I double click inside of here, I can type whatever I want, but I can also come over here and change all kinds of things about the way this text looks. I can change the font. I can change how that font is styled. I can change the size, and I can do this by clicking these little arrows. Or if I kind of know, like I've designed enough stuff where I have a good feel for like a 50 size font or a 100 size font. It just kind of depends, and you can just type it in. So you can quickly change the size of it without like clicking. You can also change your text colors. You can do gradient fills. You can do advanced gradients, image fills, all kinds of things. And then obviously you can choose from this basic color palette, or you can click the color wheel to get really detailed on what you want. In fact, if you really wanted to, like if I wanted this hello world to be this, the exact color of this green in this little icon down here, I could click this eyedropper tool. So let me show you how I did that. So I'm clicking on my text here. I go to my text color and I choose the color wheel. And there's this little eyedropper tool at the bottom. If I click the eyedropper tool, now what I can do is I can literally drag my mouse anywhere on my computer. It could be in my dock. It could be anywhere. Let's say I just really, really like this color green. I can drag my mouse over that color and click, and it will pick up that color and make it that exact color. So sometimes I'll even find an inspiration photo somewhere and paste it in and use it just so I can pick colors off of it. I've done this for the Pattonville green. I've done this for all kinds of things. The other thing that you can do with text is change your alignment. Left justified, centered, right justified, all kinds of things. Your spacing, your before and after paragraph spacing. You can add bullets, text bullets, image bullets, and just customize the heck out of all that stuff. Now, sometimes I will just add a text box over the top of a shape. But sometimes I'll actually use a shape as a text box. So a lot of times when I'm making like a how-to document and I want to point something out, I'll use a call-out shape because I can customize where this little arrow goes exactly. And then if you double click inside any shape, you can type text. So I'm going to select my text and come over here and make this big. And then now when I drag this around, it's just one object. Whereas here, my hello world and my shape are two objects. And if I want to drag them around, I have to like select both of them or I have to group them, which is fine. It's just sometimes it's nice if your shape is the text that you want. So it just kind of depends on how I'm doing that as to whether I'll do text or shape, but sometimes I use a combination. It's whatever. Additionally, just so you know, a lot of times when I design things, I use special fonts that I've installed. So if I'm using kind of a neat looking font, I do want to make sure that I go to File and I export as a PDF, because if I type this up and I'm using this cool font called Attack Graffiti, and then I email this Pages document to Greg, and he doesn't have that font installed on his computer, it's not going to look the same. And to me, font in a document is like music in a movie. It can change the whole look and feel and theme of the whole thing. So it's important sometimes to make sure that your recipient of your document has the font as well, or that you've given them a PDF, because if you export to PDF, then it doesn't matter. They'll see it exactly as you designed it. So anytime I make a poster or an infographic or something that I intend to like put on a website or print or send out to people, I always export it as a PDF first. If you're just printing it from your computer, it doesn't really matter. But that's a little bit about text. And just some people don't know that you can delete this. Make this. You can also choose these paragraph styles that are already in here to make things bigger quickly if you want. Okay, so here's my name. One of the things you can also do is go into your character styles, and this is where you can choose some certain styles in here. But you can also click this little gear, this Show Advanced, and then you can fuss around with some things in here. So if you wanted to do an outline, and do an outline in black, but then you come and make your text green, then you can have an outline. And you can even make that outline thicker or do something like that. You can take the outline off and give it a shadow and mess with your offset to make the shadow subtle or make the shadow very obvious. You can just kind of play with things and see what they look like. And you can change the angles. So you can have some fun with this advanced pane too. If you're like, oh, you know what? I really meant for that to be all caps. Boom! There it is, all caps. But if you're like, oh, wait, I didn't want that, then you can say none or title case. You can do fun things with some of these. So yeah, there's a lot you can do with text. You can also mess around with layout, indents, tab stops, borders. There's all kinds of things. If you wanted to put borders around stuff, you can. And then if you're like, man, I am just loving this, I want to save this style, you can add it here. And then it's kind of like using this copy paste style thing. You can go back, and now when you add, like, let's say you added a different text box and you were like, oh, I really want to grab that style. If you go over, you can choose it because you saved it. So those are some things that you can do with text. If you're thinking, hey, I'd like to download some cool fonts, you can do that a couple of ways. You can go to dafont.com. This is kind of an old school site, but man, I just really like how it works. It's got a lot of ads and stuff, but I like the way it works because you can choose something. You can type your name or something you want to type in your document. And then what I like about it, because I often create things that I put on our websites, is I can search for public domain fonts and 100% free and hit submit. And now I'm only going to get fonts that I know I can use without a problem, and I don't have to worry about copyright. So I like that. If you're designing something just for your girlfriend's wedding shower, though, nobody cares. You can do whatever you want there. But I like how you can preview what it looks like. And so if you find a font that you like, and you're like, oh man, yes, that is it. That is what I want to do. Then you can just say download. And then on your MacBook, when you go to your downloads folder, you want to look for it's usually a .ttf or .oof or something file. And if you just double click it, your font book will open and you can install the font. You just have to remember what it's called. So this is HoneyScript. So the next time I go in my Pages document and I want this, maybe I want this to be HoneyScript now. If I go to text, style, and I look at my font, there's HoneyScript. I can choose it.